welcome to Ep.2 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. My name is Christine, and this is my wife, Sam.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sam.
We've been living vegan for about 3 years now and wanted to share our journey with you and what we've learned along the way. Today's episode, which we've aptly named Visiting the Farm Sanctuary in Watkins Glen, is about, you guessed it, visiting the farm sanctuary in Watkins Glen. So, back in July of this year, we traveled to Watkins Glen, New York, to visit the farm sanctuary.
And before we get to telling our story, just a little bit of background information on Farm Sanctuary, and this is coming from some of their promotional materials. Farm Sanctuary is the nation's leading farm animal protection organization. Since incorporating in 1986, Farm Sanctuary has worked to expose and stop cruel practices of the food animal industry through research and investigations, legal and institutional reforms, public awareness projects, youth education, and direct rescue and refuge efforts. Farm Sanctuary shelters in Watkins Glen, New York, and Orland, California, provide lifelong care for hundreds of rescued animals who have become ambassadors for farm animals everywhere by educating visitors about the realities of factory farming. So this is a really fantastic organization that we actually started supporting a couple of years ago, not long after we became vegan. I was looking for new opportunities for philanthropic. And for a long time, one of the organizations I had been supporting was Heifer International, which of course provides animals to families around the globe for economic or food-based purposes. And after becoming vegan, I was like, wow, I really can't do that anymore. So let's find another organization to give some money to. And so I found Farm Sanctuary and was so excited to see that you can adopt animals.
Yeah.
And Chris has a thing for goats. I mean, not just goats. She also has a thing for cows, but
that sounds kind of weird.
It does. But yes, she has a thing for goats. And so anyway, I wanted to be able to tell her for Christmas that year that I had got her goat. So I adopted Maggie, who was a young goat who had been born on the Farm Sanctuary, and her mother had been rescued from factory farming.
Actually, I think she was rescued from a backyard butcher situation.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Regardless.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
I think that's what I read.
Anyway, so that's where we started being involved in Farm Sanctuary, was adopting Maggie. And then the following year, we decided to increase that. And so not only are we sponsoring Maggie, but we're also sponsoring 2 other animals, a cow named Diane.
Yay.
And a second goat named Josie May.
Josie May.
Yes.
Yeah. They're so cute.
Yeah. So when and we had been hoping to visit Farm Sanctuary for quite some time, but with COVID and all of that good stuff, they had not been accepting visitors for about the last 18 months. And so we had, we kept checking to see if there was going to be a time where we could, go check the place out. And finally, back in July, we found out that they were opening to visitors again on a limited basis. And so we made an appointment for a tour. And we were just really, really excited to be able to see this wonderful place. Now, the Watkins Glen Farm Sanctuary is huge, and they have over 900 animals that they have rescued.
It's like hundreds of acres, I think.
Yeah, hundreds and hundreds of acres.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely huge. Let me see if I can find the information on how big the place is. I'm making noise by putting things on the table.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Sorry.
Put them someplace else.
Okay. I'll work on that.
Anyway. So, so when we got to the farm sanctuary, we were a little early for our tour. So we perused their gift shop and realized, wow, we're probably going to be spending some money in here because there's some really great stuff, T-shirts and all that jazz. And then in their main barn where they have the gift shop and like their information center and all that, they had a video playing of some of the animals, why they're there, why they do what they do. And our lovely tour guide,
Andrew.
Andrew, gave us a little spiel about what we were going to be doing for that day. And, that, they don't, it's not like a petting zoo. Mm-mm. If the animals aren't where we go, you just don't see them. Mm-hmm. They don't, force the animals onto people. And with that and a little safety information, we went on our way. Yeah. And the first place that we went was a cow pasture. And the first cow that we saw was our Diane.
Which was just amazing. I could absolutely not believe that we had the good fortune to meet the very cow that we were supporting.
Yeah. And I teared up.
Yes, Christine teared up. I just kind of gasped and was just so excited that we got to meet this beautiful animal that we had been sponsoring. So that was very cool to get to pet her and see her. Now, she had absolutely no interest in us whatsoever. She was just like, munching. You know what? I'm eating here. Like I am. She was
munching away at the ground.
Grass munching machine.
She could have cared less.
That sounded really wrong. We have to edit that out. What that was bad. Say? I said she's a grass munching machine. It just sounded bad.
Yeah, so we spent some time with Diane. That was really great. Mm-hmm. And then what did we move on to? Goats or...
Well, no, actually, next was sheep.
Oh, right. Then we went to the sheep barn, which I don't know if anybody, if you know this, but you can go onto their website and they actually have cams in various parts of the farm. And one of the cams is actually on the sheep barn. And I watch it. It's fun to watch. I mean, if it's later in the day, you're just watching sheep sleep and chew their cud, which is kind of cute. But if you watch earlier in the day, then you do get to see a lot of the activity and you see them feeding them. And it's really interesting. I think it's really cool that they have those cams around the farm so that you can check it out if you're not able to go.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So we went into an enclosure near the sheep barn, and as we were entering, I noticed a little goat in a pasture, and I'm looking over at this goat, and I'm like, I think that's Josie May.
It was Josie May.
It was Josie May. We didn't get to meet her, but we did get to see her from a distance.
Yeah,
which
she was too far out in the pasture.
Yeah, but it was still really cool seeing her. And then Andrew was telling us about the sheep and how, some sheep are very, very social and are really interested in being around people and others absolutely are not. And it was so interesting because as this group of there may be 15 of us?
Maybe, yeah.
About that on the tour. The majority of the sheep just kind of got up from where they were standing and moved towards the back of the barn. Like, yep, we don't want to be around these humans.
They're like, oh, here they come.
Here they come. A couple, though, immediately came running up to Andrew. There was one particular sheep named Ash that was just phenomenal. He just was, he wanted to be the center of attention. Yeah. He wanted everybody to pet him and say hello. I mean, I got a kiss from Ash. It was really, really cool. So that was great. And then after seeing the sheep, we went over to one of the goat enclosures and immediately sitting on a platform, sunning herself right next to her mother, we saw Maggie.
Yeah, we saw Maggie and her mom. And she was so sweet. She let us scritch her. She liked scritching between her little horns and under her chin. She put her face up like, oh yeah, that feels good. Yeah, it was so cool to be able to see them in person and interact with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really great.
Yeah.
And so after almost meeting all three of our sponsored animals, we got to see also the pig barn.
Yep.
And this was the first time I think that I truly realized how big
you were like,
pigs
they're
are.
Huge.
I think that a lot of times when we think of pigs, we think of piglets.
Right.
And you just don't realize how large these animals get. They're amazing.
Yeah. They're really big.
Yeah. So we go into this barn of maybe 10 or 12 pigs. And it was kind of a warm day. And so they were all just sleeping.
Yeah, they were all lazing
They
about
were all
in the
lazing
hay.
about in the hay, and they cover themselves up in the hay in ways that are just phenomenal. Like you would like all you would see of a pig was a nose
Just a snout
sticking out,
sticking out.
or an ear
Right.
sticking out of the hay. It was really, really very
Yeah,
cool.
but we got to rub some pig bellies, and they really seemed to enjoy it. They just kind of lay there with their eyes closed. Yeah, it was really cool, and they have fowl, chickens and ducks and turkeys, but they had those enclosures closed off to the public because I guess they had some problems with predators at the time we were there, so they had it all kind of on lockdown. I don't know exactly what predators, coyotes or whatever, were coming in, and I don't know if they lost any fowl. I hope they didn't. But so we weren't able to spend any time with the turkeys or the chickens, which was a little disappointing, but that's okay. We still saw them. We just weren't able to interact with them at all. So, yeah, then after that, we basically just kind of roamed around the property for a little bit, which is beautiful, by the way, in the hills. I don't know if you've ever been to Watkins Glen, but it's just an amazingly beautiful area. And so we just kind of walked around the property a little bit and then made our way back to the main barn. And, of course, bought T-shirts.
Of course. Absolutely necessary.
Yeah, I think we both bought a couple of T-shirts, and Sam bought a tote bag. Yeah.
Yeah. One of our favorite ways to, kind of passively spread the message of veganism is to wear it.
Yeah,
as
9
much as
times out of
possible.
10, one or both of us is wearing a vegan T-shirt of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out in the world.
Yeah.
So a really non-offensive way to just say, hey.
Yeah. So when we went to Watkins Glen, we decided to stay at Junebug Lodge, which is a vegan it's kind of like a camping lodge area. Because of COVID, their main lodge is closed, but they in normal times they serve like vegan breakfast for everybody. And on the property, they've built tiny houses and tiny A-frames, and he recently built a tiny treehouse, which was adorable.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. And we stayed in the last remaining tiny house. They've been unfortunately having to sell them to exist because with COVID, the income hasn't really been rolling in the way it normally would. And so we stayed in this beautiful little tiny house. It was so cool. And they also have a ton of property, which he has maintained paths and trails through all the property. And I really wish we had more time to explore his property because it was really cool. He also rescues waterfowl, ducks, and chickens. Not all waterfowl, obviously. They're not water chickens.
No, they are not water chickens.
Yeah, so he has a rescue area for the ducks and chickens. And very cool. And he has these little kind of tiny houses that he built for the chickens and ducks, which were adorable. And some of the ducks, he said, they rescue from, and this is something I had never heard before, but apparently Tractor Supply does a thing where they sell baby chickens and ducks. I don't know if it's like an Easter thing.
I think it's largely around Easter time,
Yeah.
that they sell baby chicks and baby ducks.
Yeah, him and some of his friends were going around to Tractor Supplies and rescuing these ducks and chickens, convincing management, because he said when they go, you could tell some of them were not well, missing feathers and all that, but they would convince the management to allow them to take them to the sanctuary, which is a really neat thing that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
What was his
awesome.
name? Matt?
Hang on. I think you
Oh.
have the reservation information I was just looking on my phone to see if I could find the
know.
text message from him.
Yeah, so I found it. His name is Matt, and his lovely wife, Courtney, which we unfortunately didn't get to meet when we were there, but Matt was really cool and obviously excited about the property and a little concerned about what COVID has kind of done to their business model. But regardless, he seemed like
Optimistic.
he
About
was optimistic about the future.
the future. Absolutely. The tiny home that we stayed in was wonderful. For pictures, please see our website. But we were going to be the last people to stay in it because he was selling it.
Yeah,
And
someone
so
had recently purchased it.
Yeah,
Because,
so-
like I said, he was selling all the tiny houses off in order to have some sort of income. Yeah, and apparently he used to have a tiny house building business, but then once the lodge kind of started growing and he needed to spend more time there, he stopped doing that. I think he said he was an engineer or an architect or something, an engineer possibly. But yeah, they're beautiful. The tiny little A-frames, they're just adorable. I know for 2 people, it would be a little tight if you plan on spending a lot of time there, but it's a really great launching point for the farm sanctuary. Now, the farm sanctuary does also provide housing. They have cabins and tiny houses that you can stay on right on property. But we always wanted to check out the Junebug Lodge and support as many vegan places in the area that we could. So that's why we stayed at Junebug. And we'd stay there again.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I really hope that we can go back, either this fall or next summer or something.
Yeah, they have a really neat swimming pond. So you're there and you're listening to the sound of the frogs croaking. And
Yeah, it's pretty great.
yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did venture into in-town Watkins Glen, which in the middle of summer is really kind of hectic. There's
A little chaotic. Yeah.
between the Glen, excuse me, between the Glen itself and people camping and hiking and the raceway there, it gets really busy in downtown Watkins Glen. But they do have some municipal parking lots, so parking's not really an issue. You do have to pay to park, but parking wasn't really an issue. And there's lots of places to eat. So we'll move on to our next segment, food, and talk a little bit about the places we ate. Now, funny enough, given that the farm sanctuary is there and Junebug Lodge, and there's a couple other vegan things going on as far as housing around there, there's not one single vegan restaurant in Watkins Glen.
Yeah, it was surprising that there was not. That there were no solely vegan restaurants in Watkins Glen. That being said, a lot of the restaurants in downtown Watkins Glen are vegan friendly. They have vegan options or are willing to veganize their dishes to accommodate, the no meat, no dairy, no eggs restrictions. So the first place that we wound up having dinner on our first night in the Glen was the Rooster Fish Pub. And it was really quite lovely. A really
kind of pseudo Irish barish atmosphere.
No, it wasn't pseudo Irish.
Well, I mean,
it had definite pub atmosphere.
Yeah,
kind of like a
pub
microbrew
atmosphere with big wooden booths to sit in. And,
yeah, absolutely. But it was really very casual. Just
lots of really good beer on tap. They make their own beer, and so I tried a flight of beer. Trying to remember what I tried. I know I tried a porter, a red ale, a sour, maybe 2 porters. 2 porters,
Probably.
a red ale, and a sour. And of course, the porters were my favorite. The red ale was really good. The sour wasn't sour. And even our waitress said, "Yeah." She said a lot of people say that they expect it to be more sour. I don't know if you're anybody out there are beer people, but a sour should definitely give you that kind of feeling in like the back of your jawline, and it really wasn't. It was good, but it tasted more like an American ale or something. But so after the flight, I decided to have a full, I think one of the porters.
One of the
I
porters.
went with. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but they were good. The beers were good. And then we ordered food, and I got...
well, let's start with the appetizer.
Oh,
we have
yeah,
to
right. We got an
serious
appetizer.
praise for the fried Brussels sprouts. Now, both Christine and I are huge Brussels sprout fans. As soon as the weather here turns and gets a little bit cooler, I'm sure we'll be back to roasting Brussels sprouts at least 3 times a week because they are kind of a mainstay of our fall and winter diet. But we'd never had fried Brussels sprouts. So these were very clearly deep fried, no breading or anything, just the Brussels sprouts themselves tossed into what was probably a big vat of oil.
Yeah.
And they came out just so crispy and so flavorful.
They were really good.
They were really surprising.
Yeah, and they served them with a vegan dipping sauce.
Like a vegan remoulade that was just absolutely fantastic. And then for my main dish, anytime cauliflower tacos are on offer, that's probably where I'm going to head. I absolutely love them. And so I got the cauliflower tacos with a side salad. And these were really quite delightful, served with guacamole and pickled cabbage. And they were just, they were a really nice pico de gallo, actually. So they were wonderful.
Yeah. And I had a burger, and I can't remember, was it a Beyond Burger? Or?
It was a
Okay.
Beyond Burger.
Yeah, and I prefer the Impossible Burger, but I got the Beyond Burger with fixins and
Sweet
potato
potato
fries, and they were good. Everything was really, really well done. It was good. It was a good meal.
Yeah. So simple, basic pub food.
Yeah.
Nothing particularly elevated or elegant about it, but really just hearty, flavorful, satisfying.
Yeah, they didn't have a whole lot of vegan options. I think we ate all the vegan options.
Well, or
Was
we came close. No, I
Yeah.
think there were a couple of options that we didn't try, but
Yeah, there may have been like a salad or something that I didn't do or we didn't do, but
probably. But what I really did appreciate, and I'll note this anytime we head to a restaurant that does this, is that they made their vegan options very, very clear on the menu. So we didn't have to ask our server whether or not an item was vegan, or if there was something in, we didn't have to ask, does the batter have eggs?
Right.
Is there cheese on the burger? Like we just knew. No, but we just always appreciate when vegan items on a menu are clearly marked, so we don't have to go through the Q&A session with the server. It's really great. So serious thumbs up to the Rooster Fish Pub for that.
Rooster Fish Brewing Pub at 223 North Franklin Street, Watkins Glen, New York. Yeah, check it out if you're there. It was good. So what other restaurants did we visit when we were there? We also went the next day we went for breakfast.
Yes.
To the Glen Mountain Market Bakery and Deli.
Yes.
Which was a coffee shop with a little market.
Yeah.
Very cute little place.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved this place. So we went in for breakfast and found a parking space right out front, which was great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, totally awesome.
If you go early, you can find a parking spot.
Yes, absolutely. And so we started our breakfast by sharing a raspberry Danish. Now, many of you vegans out there will know how difficult it can be to find vegan pastries. And one of my weaknesses when it comes to food is definitely baked goods. So we had to go with a raspberry Danish, which was wonderful. Sweet and tart and flaky pastry.
Yeah, it was good.
Really fantastic.
Yep.
We also had some really great coffee, and then we each had a Gleeman vegan breakfast sandwich.
Which was what we went there for.
Yes.
We saw it on their menu. We're like, oh, we got to come back here for breakfast.
Yes, and so the Gleeman vegan breakfast sandwich
Not
is
easy to say.
No, not easy to say, but is seitan and cucumbers and vegan cream cheese, tomatoes, sprouts on homemade wheat bread, and it was really fantastic. Just a great way to start the morning.
Yeah, it was good. They also have lots of plant milk options for your coffee, which was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I also appreciated the fact that in the market section of the cafe, they had a lot of locally sourced products, locally sourced CBD, maple syrup, pickled vegetables, coffee, et cetera, et cetera. It was really awesome.
Yeah, it was a cute little shop. And the woman who rung us out, I have a feeling she was the owner.
Oh, absolutely. No question.
Yeah, she was really enthusiastic about everything they had there and knowledgeable about everything they had there that was vegan. And yeah, it was a really cool place. So check it out.
Yeah.
Glen Mountain Market Bakery and Deli. They're at 200 North Franklin Street in Watkins Glen, New York.
Just about everything seems to be on North Franklin Street.
North Franklin Street is the main drag. Mm-hmm. And that's where everybody is. Now, we never even really got off the main drag in Watkins Glen. I mean, other than...
We did for dinner one night.
Oh, yeah, because then for dinner, the next night, we went to the Thai Elephant.
Thai Elephants.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Thai
that
Elephants.
is not on North Franklin Street.
It is not. Where is it?
It's at 133 East 4th Street in Watkins Glen. Yeah, and I had the pad thai,
You did?
which was good, but not spicy at all, which I've never had a pad thai that didn't have any heat, which was a little weird. But
Yeah.
it was delicious. It was just a little odd that it didn't have any heat. And then and I don't know if they're, kind of trying to cater more to the tourist crowd, to make them not hot or anything. I don't know.
Well, whatever heat was missing from your pad thai, which, by the way, you did have to specifically request that there was no egg and no fish sauce.
Yes.
So you did have to make that request. But whatever heat was missing from your pad thai was completely present in my amazing Thai green curry. I got the tofu and vegetable Thai green curry, and it was phenomenal. It was very spicy, very hot, and it had that kind of heat that builds
Right.
on you that you don't feel it.
It was
right
spicy.
away. Oh, it was so good. It was just the flavors were incredible. And this was, you had mung bean sprouts and green beans, broccoli, eggplant, spinach, carrot, bok choy, with this beautiful green curry. It was fabulous.
Yeah.
Like, just
and then
absolutely
did we
fabulous.
have appetizers there? My memory.
Yes,
I
we
think
did.
we had spring rolls or something.
We did. We had steamed vegetable dumplings because, of
Oh,
course, we
right.
can't go to any Asian
Dumplings, yeah.
place without getting steamed vegetable dumplings.
Gotta get the dumplings.
Got to get dumplings. And then the Thai spring rolls, which were super crispy.
Yeah, those were good.
Yeah, they were really, really yummy. Yep. So really well done by Thai Elephants. And again, this was a menu that made it very clear how you could make the dishes vegan. Like, for example, when you're looking at their curry menu, it's kind of a build your own curry. Like, so you choose the sauce and you choose the protein. And so even though it is not a vegan establishment, it's quite vegan friendly. So we would definitely recommend. And that Thai green curry is just to die for.
Yeah, that was good. I was almost wishing that I had gotten that instead of the pad thai.
Well, I think if you had eaten a whole portion of the Thai green curry, you would have been in pain later that evening.
Yeah, my spice,
Your tolerance.
yes, that's the word I'm looking for. My
is
tolerance
not-
for spice is not as high as yours.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely
I like
not.
it. And I can do like curry hot and Thai hot, and chili hot. The only hot I really can't stand is jalapeno hot.
Which is so funny because
I like how it
jalapeno is
tastes.
so
It's just my
far
stomach.
down on the
I
Scoville
feel like my
scale.
stomach's on fire when I eat jalapenos.
Yeah. So, you
Yeah.
know, no vegan nachos for you. I
Right.
guess.
So then after that, didn't we we went for ice cream, right?
We did because I do love me some sweets, and it's rare to find places that do vegan ice cream,
Yeah,
particularly in
dairy-free
this
ice.
part of the world. So we did. We went to the Great Escape. I think they're called. Is that what I had? The Great Escape Ice
Great
Cream
Escape
Parlor?
ice cream parlor.
Yes. And I got a chocolate peanut butter. I believe the base was almond milk, so an almond milk base chocolate peanut butter ice cream.
Yeah.
And it was really quite good. The chocolate was not too sweet, which is great. I think sometimes chocolates can go a little bit too far.
I
when
found
it
that
comes
with
to
a lot
sugar.
of dairy-free. A lot of dairy-free ice cream is overly sweet to me.
Yeah.
That I don't know if they're trying to make up for I don't know. They're trying to make up for a lack of flavor sometimes with sugar or what it is.
Well, I don't know. But this didn't go there in terms of it being overly sweet. My only not exactly complaint, but no, I guess complaint. My only complaint was that there was just not enough peanut butter.
There's never enough peanut butter.
Because let's be real, when you order chocolate peanut butter ice cream, you're there for the peanut butter.
You want peanut butter.
It's not about the chocolate. It's
Yeah.
about the peanut butter, and
Yeah.
you want to hit those veins of peanut butter.
Yeah.
And so when I did hit a vein of peanut butter, it was like, oh, this is good, because then the salty,
Yeah. You need that.
yeah,
The salty
the
sweet
salty
thing.
hit
Yeah.
of peanut butter really kind of brought out the flavor of the chocolate. So it was a really nice ice cream, but it needed more peanut butter, and it could just be that the couple of scoops that I got just did not have that much.
If you're
peanut butter in
listening,
them.
Great Escape Ice Cream Parlor, more peanut butter in the peanut butter chocolate ice cream. I didn't have any ice cream because I was full, and I'm not a huge sweets fan. So, I mean, I'll have ice cream if I haven't eaten all day and it's hot out. I might have some ice cream, but other than that, like if I've already eaten, it just doesn't appeal to me for some reason. I've never been a huge ice cream fan.
I think honestly, I got my fondness for ice cream from my mother.
Yeah,
Yeah, mom was an ice cream fiend.
yeah,
When I was growing up, and so ice cream was a regular part of our lives.
yeah. We always had ice cream in the house. I just wasn't. My father was the ice cream person in our family, and I'm just not a huge ice cream eater.
Yeah.
I mean, if make me a sundae, that's a different story.
Oh, sure.
Like a sundae with chocolate syrup, or like vanilla ice cream, chocolate syrup, and some Spanish peanuts. I'm there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, anytime we do like brownie sundaes or something like that, you're all over it. But to just, you're not one of those people who can sit down with a pint of ice cream
Right.
and inhale it in the space of 20 minutes,
No.
Which I most certainly am. Yeah.
Yep.
Not hard to do.
Yeah.
That's why we really don't keep ice cream in the house, because I have a hard time staying away from it when we do have it in the house.
Yeah. So we were only in Watkins Glen for the weekend. And so we took off for that Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And decided before we headed home that we were going to head completely in the opposite direction.
Yes.
And go to Ithaca, New York, to this vegan diner. It's Angel Heart's Diner. And they're at if you want to go to Angel Heart's Diner in Ithaca, they're at 401 East State Street, Suite G2 in Ithaca, New York. Now, because of COVID, they are call-in pickup only, unfortunately, because I looked in the windows and it's a really cool, like 50s diner vibe. It's a really cute place. But so we sat in the parking lot and I called and ordered breakfast, and then we waited while they made it and went to the door and got it. And I ordered the breakfast. I think it was a breakfast burrito.
It was.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. It was called the Good Morning Ithaca.
Oh, yeah. Good Morning Ithaca breakfast burrito.
And I got the classic breakfast sandwich with home fries. Now, the reason I went with the classic breakfast sandwich was specifically because one of the ingredients was a coconut-based bacon.
Right.
And I had never heard of a coconut bacon before.
Yeah.
So this breakfast sandwich, I have to say, unbelievable. It was on a light, fluffy biscuit that you would have sworn was made with buttermilk, but obviously is not. And then there was a tofu, like a tofu patty that had the consistency of like an omelet.
Right.
And it was just absolutely gorgeous. And then this coconut bacon, which was crispy and flavorful and salty and wonderful, and a vegan cheese sauce. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking for real diner style vegan comfort food, this is definitely a place to go.
Yeah, definitely check them out. My burrito, I believe, had a tofu scramble, hash browns, veg, and it had that cheese sauce. It was really good. There may have even been some sausage. I think there was some sausage. Yeah, and I think it's a house-made sausage. Yep. I don't think it's like Beyond or anything like that. It was really good. Yeah, no, it was really clear by how everything was presented and how everything was made that everything is house-made. They're not using pre-made products like Beyond or Just or and it came with a side of greens, which I appreciated. Yep. So get your greens, and it was a huge burrito, and I ate the whole thing. Yeah. No, it was absolutely fantastic. So we are very, very much looking forward to heading back towards Ithaca at some point in the not too distant future, once they've opened their dining room again. So we can really, and we'll have to go with truly empty stomachs. Like we'll have to fast for like 3 days before we go. How far was Ithaca from Watkins Glen? About 40 minutes. Yeah, it was about a 45 minute drive. About a 40-minute drive. Yeah. So if you're in that area, don't skip Ithaca, because there are other vegan restaurants in Ithaca. I mean, I think Ithaca is the home of Moosewood Restaurant, which was the very first vegetarian restaurant. And I'm sure you've all heard of it, and the cookbook is like famous. So, there's many places to eat in Ithaca if you want to eat vegan or vegetarian.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be heading in that direction. And just so you know, if you have a restaurant, a vegan restaurant that you'd like us to check out and do a review on or feature on our website.
Yeah, we're always looking for places to go.
Always looking for places to go. And, largely we hang out in the western to central New York, western to central Pennsylvania, and
Canada.
southeastern, Canada.
Yeah.
But, we're looking forward to times where we'll be able to travel a little further afield.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and we'll talk about in other episodes we have traveled abroad, but we haven't traveled within the United States all that much.
No, not really.
I mean, for this purpose.
Yeah. Oh, not for this purpose at all. Not for this purpose at all. But
Yeah.
It gives us a lot to look forward to. So we do have some plans in the works to get out into the world. And
Yeah.
And so one of our quests is to, give a voice and a platform to all of those wonderful people out there who are making incredible vegan food. So there we go.
Yeah. So that was food, where we talk about all the food. We're going to start a new segment. It's called Seeds of Knowledge. Insert sound effect here.
Oh.
No, just kidding. Where we provide one tidbit of advice, I guess, for new vegans or people that are considering going vegan. And today's seed of knowledge, I have no idea what it is.
You have no idea what it is?
No. I guess today's seed of knowledge would be to go to all the restaurants that you love, peruse their menu, and see what on their menu you can make vegan, or what is vegan, or suggest that they have vegan things on their menu if they don't.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I mean, we don't have a lot of restaurants in our area that we frequent. There just really aren't.
Which is kind of a good thing, but no.
Yeah. But, going in at any establishment and saying, hey, I'm vegan. What do you have for me? Because the more people ask about vegan options or vegan menu items, the more establishments will be willing to include vegan options on their menus.
Right.
If there's a demand, then restaurants will do the work to meet that demand.
Right.
So it's always a good idea if you're going to a restaurant that is non-vegan and may not even be particularly vegan friendly, make sure that you're talking about it. Talk to your server, talk to the manager, talk to whoever you need to talk to say, hey, I would come here a lot more often if there were options for me. Yeah. And
with there being so many commercially available products for restaurants to order now with Beyond and Impossible, it's definitely something that you should make restaurants in your area aware that there is a market for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We just had this fantastic Italian deli that we have in our area. It's called Tuscany. Yes. And pre-veganism, we went there quite frequently because they make amazing sandwiches, like fabulous sandwiches. So if you're an omnivore and you're looking for a place to get a really good sandwich in Fredonia, New York, that's definitely one of the places to go. The other one I would definitely recommend is Upper Crust Bakery, but we're going to talk about them a little bit more another time.
In another episode.
But anyway, Tuscany recently added a vegan breakfast sandwich to their offerings, which we really appreciated. In fact, as soon as we found out about it, we went that very next morning. And I've actually gone a couple of times since then.
Yeah, it's a pretty good sandwich.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
What's on it? I can't remember. It was so long ago that we tried it.
That I think is a Beyond sausage patty. It's got guacamole. It's got vegetables, and you can add vegetables to it. So I think it comes with like tomato and onion, but I always add cucumbers because, cucumbers. And it comes with a kimchi, I think, on it. Yeah. Which I usually don't get just because I found the flavor profile to be a little bit strange. And then kind of a chipotle sauce. So I found the kimchi, the chipotle, and the avocado to be a little odd together. But if you take the kimchi out of the equation, it's pretty much spot on. It's really good.
Yeah, they don't unfortunately have any vegan cheese options,
No.
which, that's always the bane of our existence.
Well, your existence.
Well, a lot of what I mean when I say I mean vegans collectively.
Oh, yes.
Where restaurants will offer what they're saying are vegan options, which are vegan options, but they don't understand the need for the cheese, the vegan cheese.
Yeah.
Yes. Because that
Absolutely.
sandwich would be so much better with a slice of some kind of vegan cheese.
Oh,
on
sure.
It. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's our trip to the Farm Sanctuary and Junebug Lodge and all the places that we ate when we were in Watkins Glen and Ithaca. I think we're going to wrap this up. If you have any suggestions or questions for us or show ideas or you just want to chat, make sure you reach out to us. Our email address is compassionandcucumbers@gmail.com, and that's compassion and spelled out AND cucumbers @gmail.com. You can reach out to us on Instagram at Compassion and Cucumbers on Instagram and on Facebook at, you guessed it, Compassion and Cucumbers on Facebook. So we'd really love to hear from you all. So thanks for listening and spending time with us. We appreciate you so much and hope to hear from you soon. Until next time, this is
Sam?
and Christine saying, always remember to live compassionately. Bye-bye.
Have a great week.